Hey everybody, welcome to Beaming Notes, and today we're going to look at the critical analysis, theme, and poetic devices of the poem Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda. Critical analysis. Keeping Quiet by Pablo Neruda is a powerful piece of poetry penned by the poet in favor of peace, humanity, and self-actualization. We live in troubled times these days in which our utilitarian take on life has not just divorced us from fellow human beings, but also from our own selves. We have nations embroiled in power struggles with each other, and humans who are so busy trying to attain the superficial goals in life that they have no comprehensive idea of who they really are as an individual. This is the reason why we have so much chaos on a societal level and depression on an individual level. The poet provides us with a very simple solution in the poem to help us combat all of these problems. This solution lies in keeping quiet. The poet asks us to just engulf ourselves in a moment of inactivity in which we will not talk or move, but will look inwards in introspection. This powerful silence will bring about an epiphanic moment for us in which we will begin to see ourselves as who we really are and not in terms of all the goals and achievements which we have chalked out for our existence. The poet hopes that in this moment of self-discovery, the world will come together in unison by virtue of their common bond of silence. Neruda envisions a resultant world in which nations will give up their power feuds, and once humans realize that life is much more than a rat race, they will stop hurting each other as means to their ends. It is wonderful to note the plethora of values which Neruda has imparted by means of a simple poem. He has motivated us towards assuming humanity as our identity, since keeping quiet will help us consider our place first as humans and then as belonging to a certain race or religion. He has also tried to instill in us an anti-war attitude by speaking in favor of clean clothes. Neruda has exposed for us the big farce that wars are, in which lives are shed for the benefit of just a bunch of bureaucrats. He wants us to stand against this inhuman bloodshed which turns one brother against another, because at the end of the day we are all children of this world. Neruda has also given value to the self as we are and not as we should be. He has inspired us to let go of our ego to attain self-actualization in the spiritual sense of the term as opposed to the materialistic sense. One major criticism of this poem is that it cuts a very utopian figure of existence for us. All the philosophies forwarded by Neruda sound brilliant, but we cannot help but be compelled to question its practicality. Is it really possible to attain world peace and a meaningful existence just by keeping quiet? Perhaps Neruda has oversimplified this matter for us, but at least he has provided us with a model towards which we can work. The real brilliance of the poem cannot be gauged during the process of reading. It lies in the ripples of thought and the residual realizations which the poem creates after we have set it down. Poetic devices. The usage of the term language is an instance of metonymy in which a symbol or sign is used for the thing signified. Language here stands in for culture or race. Arms. Arms is an instance of pun. In puns, duplicity of sense is created because of the unity of sound. Arm here stands for a body part as well as weaponry. Sudden strangeness. Instance of alliteration. The same syllable is repeated at the beginning of successive words. His hurt hands. This is an instance of alliteration. Wars with fire, wars with gas. This is an instance of pallilogia. In pallilogia, there is a repetition of same words in line or sentence. For example, here wars with occurs twice. The earth can teach us. This is an instance of personification. Earth is given the human attribute of teaching. Extended metaphor. An extended metaphor can be found in the lines, such as perhaps the earth can teach us, as when everything seems dead and later proves to be alive. Here, the stillness which Neruda advocates is being compared to the stillness of winter. Just like winter leads to rejuvenation, even the quietness recommended by Neruda leads to regrowth. Symbolism. Symbolism is abundant in keeping quiet. Fisherman and whale stands for the oppressor and oppressed respectively. Stalled gatherer is symbolic of humanity, whereas clean clothes symbolize peace. Theme: silence and stillness. Neruda is all for silence and stillness and keeping quiet. It is also the central theme of the poem. According to the poet, adopting silence and stillness in our life, even if it is for just a while, is very essential, as it will help us reflect on ourselves and the world. Doing this will put us on a meaningful track in life, first on an individual plane and then on a larger societal plane. Once we start working towards self-actualization, our focus will shift from external to internal. As a result, there will be peace and harmony among individuals and nations. However, for this to happen, it is essential that silence and stillness, which the poet recommends, is not mistaken for absolute inactivity. It is imperative for this moment of calm and rest to be accompanied by deep meditation. This brings us to the second theme of the poem, which is introspection. It is only through introspection and reflection that we can attain the perfect utopian world described in the poem. Brotherhood. Brotherhood is an important theme of the poem, to which the theme of anti-violence is also linked. Neruda has showcased an anti-war attitude in the poem and has branded war as meaningless, since it brings the illusion of victory at the very heavy price of human lives. No one really benefits from the war. Instead, one brother turns against another. Neruda wishes for people across the world to unite together in their moment of silence and stillness. He hopes that doing so will make humans aware of the values of brotherhood and their religion of humanity. A disapproving attitude towards utilitarianism is another important theme. Neruda speaks against a very materialistic approach towards life. According to him, life is about a lot more than achieving a certain checklist of goals before death puts us to an end. One can have a successful life by really understanding oneself away from the rat race which we usually attach to our existence. The theme of rejuvenation has also been touched upon in this poem. The poet says that the phase of stillness which he wants his readers to undergo should not be mistaken as death. Just as spring takes away all the dormancy of winter, the phase of keeping quiet will also be followed by a burst of meaningful philanthropic activity.